Okay, in this lesson I'm going to be talking about arrays. Arrays allow you to store more than one piece of data inside a variable. For example, the variable days would be called as an array. Inside a pair of parentheses we're going to have more than one value. So I'm going to pick 5 values for this. I'm going to have every day of the week, and inside each of these I'm going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. So just 5 days of the week. That saves us saying, for example, day 1 is Monday, day 2 is Tuesday, and so on. You get the picture. This is a much easier and more efficient way of calling a variable with more than one piece of data inside it. Bear in mind these can be numbers, however, whatever data you decide that you require inside them. Now to call to echo out our array, I'm going to say echo days. Now you'll find that this doesn't work. What happens when we open up our page? We're just going to have array echoed out. Now array isn't anywhere inside here, so really what PHP has just done is echoed out the fact we have an array. Now to call a specific element inside an array, you might want to call these element. Some places I've heard call them ID tags. I prefer to call them elements of an array. We're going to use square brackets, and we're going to call the position of the element inside the array. So you may think this is 1, 2, 3 up to 5. However, because of the numbering system, the standard numbering system, we are starting at 0, 1, 2 and so on to 4. So for example, if I wanted to echo out Monday, that would be 0. So you put a 0 in there and we have Monday echoed out. The same with 1 would be Tuesday, and 4, which is the last element in the array, would be Friday. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and I'm going to show you how to assign values in a different way to an array. Now let's scrap this, and let's say I just want to start from the beginning, but I want to say I'm going to create an array, but I'm going to create specifically. So days 0 equals Monday, days 1 equals Tuesday. Now you may think, what's the point of this? What I'm doing here essentially is creating what I said earlier would be a bit of a hassle. I could say day 1 equals, and day 2, I can't type today, day 2 equals, and you could do it like that. However, what we're still doing here is putting it into an array. So we're still maintaining the same structure, but we're assigning it in a different way. So you can do it like that. I prefer to always do it like, let's get back here, back to the start. I always prefer to do it like this. I find it's much cleaner, much simpler. Just to let you know, you can bring this down like this. However you prefer to view it. Let's redo that. Let's say if I save this out, refresh, nothing's changed, there's no errors, we've still kept the same structure, we've just moved it down on lines. Remember, your line terminator goes at the end of your function, not at the end of every line, so don't get confused with that. Okay, so let's now go back to this. Okay, now I've shown you a basic array and how to create values for it in 2 different ways, and how to call values for it. So for example, if I was saying echo today is date, and then I can say 0. Now you can see already that the highlighter in context that I'm using has highlighted that green. Now if we refresh this, we'll see it's Monday. Now don't get confused. I do recommend you use context. However, this isn't the standard way that context recognizes the coding. What it would look better as, you'd see that when we wrote it down here, we could say echo days and 0, you can see how that's in red to show an integer, a number. The way that it would like you to write it is like that, and we can see that's fine, but you can incorporate an array into your string with regards to echoing it out. Anyway, I'm going to go on now to associative arrays, where we're going to assign some ID tags in a way where we hold a value for each, how can I describe it? A value for each sort of identity. If you don't follow, then this is the way I'm going to create it. I'm going to say ages equals array. Now inside I'm going to say Alex. Now instead of just going on and saying Billy and then Kyle, which are the 3 names I'm going to be using, I'm going to say 19, 14 and 18, basically using the equals and a greater than sign. Now what this has done is, instead of our array elements as in this being called by 0, this being called by 1, this being called by 2, this is now called as Alex, this is called as Billy, this is called as Kyle, but the values are 14, 19 and 18. So really it would be the same as writing, let's just get this down, it would be the same as writing that and calling this as 0, 1 and 2. But to make it a bit more friendly and a bit easier to remember, a bit easier to call, we can now say echo out ages Alex. Put that like that. Okay, so this will echo out 19, as we'll refresh and see there, 19. The same if you did Billy, and the same if you did Kyle. So really, instead of saying, you know, if you're halfway through a program and you're saying, oh, right, I'm going to have to go all the way back to the top, count along each row and say, is this 0, 1, 2, 3, I can't remember. It's much easier to do. Another useful thing of doing this is, if I was to say array 1 is equal to Alex, and then let's just say 2 is equal to Billy, you're not starting at 0 and then 1, you've got 1 and 2. So say if you find that easier to remember, we can now say echo ages 1, and that comes up as Alex. So we're not using 0 for that anymore. It's a lot more user friendly for you to program than to say 0, 1, 2. However you want to do, have a go with it, work around it, see what's easiest for you. But I mean, this to me is quite pointless because I'm in the sort of swing of using 0, 1, 2. But if you want to use it like I had before, like this, to assign a string value to any data type, then that's the way to do it. Okay, that's the basic arrays. I have another tutorial which is on multi-dimensional arrays. I didn't include it in this because it would run over a bit, but that's basically it. Thanks for watching.